Matrix Revelations is a bullshit movie. Here's the thing. I know some people are optimistic about this movie because, well, they just want a good fourth Matrix movie. I was never optimistic about this movie because the reality was that the same people who brought you The Matrix also made two shitty sequels. And one of those people, Lana Wachowski, was coming back to do this one. And from the trailers, it looked like a remake of The Matrix. Like Neo, was working a boring office job and has to go and try to figure out what happened to The Matrix and why things are different, right? That's what happened, right? That's what it looked like, but this movie is actually so much worse than that idea. Because this movie kind of is that, but this is a very meta movie where if you didn't like Space Jam 2 for how much they like make fun of Space Jam and be like, that movie sucks while trying to be Space Jam, you're gonna hate this movie more. Because this movie is even worse than that, because at least that movie tried to be Space Jam at the same time. It gave you the basketball game, that. This movie does try to be The Matrix, but not that good of one. And there's just odd scenes where they play footage from the original Matrix in this movie to remind you of scenes from the original movie. And it's like, okay, I get. Now, this movie might be a way of reintroducing fans to the franchise. But the way I look at it, this film is rated R. This is not a PG-13 Matrix. This is a rated R movie. No one, and I repeat, no one who is watching this film has never seen the original Matrix movies. Because everyone who is watching this is an adult, unless they're going with a parent. Because that's how it works at every movie theater. You cannot buy a ticket to this movie without an adult. So why would they have not seen the previous Matrix movies? I know that there's probably like exceptions. I'm sure there's a few people that aren't adults watching this movie, but the reality is majority of people watching this film have seen the original movies. There is no excuse for this kind of lazy writing. This is not a kids franchise that you need to reintroduce kids to what the Matrix is. Bullshit. You can just be a Matrix sequel. And a lot of this movie, if that was the case, if they're trying to reintroduce you to what the Matrix is, fine. Let's go with that. Fine. Let's go with that for a minute, okay? Then why are you spending so much time making fun of the original Matrix movies, right? Because the whole point of the setup of the movie is Warner Brothers wants another Matrix game. So they're developing another Matrix game, and they're like pointing it out, how dumb it is, how ridiculous this concept is, that we're making more. While being that. And that's just not fun, Because it's just not fun from a viewer's perspective, because from a viewer's perspective, I like Thing, okay? So I watch sequel to Thing I like, and the sequel to Thing I like spends the whole time telling me how dumb the Thing I like is. For me, that just tunes me out. This movie is very self-indulgent. Felt like no one wanted to make it. And they're just awkward things. So, for example, Lawrence Fishburne is not in this movie as his character from the original, Morpheus. Now, there's a narrative reason for that. I'm not going to spoil what that is just because you want to watch this movie. But the narrative reason for that doesn't really make any sense. And they could just brought in back Lawrence Fishburne as the character, because instead you have someone who's trying to be Lawrence Fishburne's character and can't do that because no one's Lawrence Fishburne, And it's just an inferior copy. So what they should have done is either made a new character that would have been interesting, but they didn't do that. So you have this awkward thing. Same thing with Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, fantastic in the original trilogy movies. They recast him for no reason. It just boggles my mind. Literally everything is wrong with this movie. The script is so cocky and self-indulgent, so unself-aware. It's very like just stating what it is, and it's just like, this isn't fun. This isn't entertaining. It's just nonsense. Because if you like the original Matrix movies, this isn't gonna make you happy. It's gonna make you irritated because it's just a movie about pointing out how dumb the original Matrix is. And like, again, if you're a fan of the original Matrix, why would you want to watch a movie that tells you how dumb the thing you like is? It's just like, what is this movie? Who is it aimed at? I don't know, because it's like, I've heard some people say, well, the idea is this movie is that trying to bring back the new fans into it. But like, as a new viewer, you're you're not really gonna get so many new fans out of this movie because it's just like it spends most of the time referencing the original way too blatantly, and like it does kind of require you to see the other ones, and it makes fun of the other ones. It's like, what is this nonsense? It's a piece of shit movie. Don't watch it.